Can everybody hear me?
What up?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
What's up, guys? It's Nick, the Lost River Driving. Who am I with today? To my, oh God, my right, but I think your guys' left, I don't know, is?
Oh, it's Ryan 1988 or Justin. How are you?
Good, good. And then below us, because as Ken said, he always prefers bottom.
Sledgehammer Horror, Ken Sledge. So excited about this. I've been looking forward to it all day.
Hey, Ken, how are you doing, buddy?
Good, Justin. How are you, man?
Doing good. Nick, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing much, much better. I'm not perfect. Life isn't perfect for sure, but it's much better.
Yeah, I don't want to get too personal, Nick, but is everything okay on your end?
So just to let everybody know really quick what Ken is referencing. My brother-in-law has been in the ICU battling COVID for a week now. And yesterday they thought they were going to have to intubate him. And they were worried he wasn't going to make it. Last night I got word of that. And then this morning my mom tells me that they didn't end up having to intubate him. So right now things seem to be on the right track. So hopeful there. Hopeful there.
If you don't believe in that,
I'm very appreciative.
Trees or whatever.
Yeah, thank the dirt, whatever you believe in. But I appreciate everybody that reached out on Instagram, and I appreciate you and Justin both checking up as well. Everybody in here right now, hello. How are you guys all doing? We are excited.
Hey,
We're excited for the just the absolute quintessential throwdown. This is the throwdown, man. This is 10 horror franchises, probably the 10 most popular. Maybe, I don't know. We might have left out one or two, but I think these 10 are pretty solid top 10s. And we're gonna go 10-1. What's our least favorite? Why? What's our favorite? And why? And everything that falls in the middle. I want to preface by saying, for me, I can't speak for you guys, but for me, there's only two of these franchises that I feel like have more duds than good movies. And maybe just one, honestly, maybe just one franchise that has more duds than good films. But they all have a classic film in their own right there. Yeah. And I'm excited to talk about them real quick. Oh man, Bill, thank you so much, brother.
You're the man, Bill.
I really appreciate that. He's been really appreciative of everybody reaching out, and he was it from what I heard this morning from my sister. She said he's in good spirits, so I think he's starting to be more optimistic, more hopeful. He's conscious, he's breathing on his own. That's good. That's really good. But I appreciate that, Bill.
I don't know how many people in the chat know, but my wife is a respiratory therapist, so. When you get intubated or when you go on, that's usually not a good sign when you're about to go on the respirator, especially with COVID. So when you told me that, I didn't want to freak you out. I didn't want to get, that's not who I wanted to be for you. But when you told me that he wasn't going to be going on a ventilator and that he wasn't going to be getting intubated, those are both very, very good signs, man. And my wife said the same thing. So I'm very proud of my wife for the work that she does. And I'm so happy for you and your family right now, because I know how dark and scary it can be to have a family member that's going down with COVID. So you've been in my thoughts and my prayers, man. And above horror, above everything else, we're a family. And I'm so happy that everything's okay with you and yours.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I really do. And, kudos to your wife and thank you for what she does. And thank you, Bill. Thank you for the generosity and the kindness and the prayers. I really appreciate that, brother. I hope that the show we are going to bring you guys today is going to excite you, make you angry, make you hate us, make you love us, and make you, most of all, just want to chat about all of these films. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to hand it over to Justin. Justin.
Oh, wow. Oh, God.
There we go.
Your number 10.
So are we
number 10
going to give our number 10 and then go?
Yeah.
So basically it'll go, I'm going to go, Justin, here's give me your number 10 and why. Then I'm going to go, and then we might have a quick roundabout with each other about that franchise, and then we'll go to the next one. So by the way, Robbie, I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope he's doing much better now. I hope he's doing much better now, and sounds like a crazy summer, brother.
By the way, hello everybody. I'm going to be going back and forth to these guys' faces and the comments because I only have my phone. So if I miss a comment, somebody please let me know.
Yeah, same thing, guys.
Same thing, man.
Yeah, everybody, West, Bill, Ali, Rudy, everybody that's in here. 1031. I've seen all you guys in here. I appreciate all of you.
Sending love to everybody. Thank you for being in here.
Let's get it started. Justin, what's your number 10 out of the so let me tell you guys really quick, the 10 franchises. We haven't said which ones they are. So the 10 franchises we're talking are Halloween, Scream, Child's Play, Saw, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, The Evil Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hellraiser, and Phantasm. Those are the 10 franchises that are duking it out for supremacy today. So Justin, numero, what is that? What's 10? I took French.
Diez.
Diez.
There you go.
Numero diez. Go, Justin.
So my number 10 was pretty easy. Though, like, there are films in the franchise I love. Obviously, the later sequels are kind of hit and miss, but there are movies in the later sequels I don't mind. Mine's Hellraiser for number 10. Franchise started off really strong. Of course, 1 and 2 classics. 3 I love, and I really enjoy 4. I know that kind of gets mixed reviews. It has its problems. After 4, obviously these movies were kind of written as other scripts, and Hellraiser was just kind of put into the movies, except for I think Hellraiser Judgment. And it ranks in at number 10 because of those later sequels. Some movies are great. I'm going to be honest. I really enjoy like Deader. I thought Hellworld was fun. There was another one kind of before those that I liked, and Judgment was a pretty good, entry.
Oh, you love Revelations, right? It's your favorite?
Oh, I love Revelations.
Okay.
I'm like, yes, love it.
Right,
I mean,
cool.
I'm just kidding. I do not love it. That was the worst of the franchise. But yeah, this has always been a franchise where I'll only marathon them if I do a ranking or something. My go-tos are usually the first 3 films and maybe 1 or 2 later on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of a reboot or revival that we're going to be getting in the future or coming up soon. So hopefully it's good.
Female Pinhead is going to be sick as hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Ken, number 10. Yeah. Okay.
Hellraiser coming in at number 10. And I want to say something real quick. We don't know each other's lists. We wanted complete objectivity with this.
Nope.
So we don't know each other's lists. For me, the worst film obviously is Hellraiser Revelations, which is the 9th one. No Doug Bradley. My favorite in the franchise is Hellbound, Hellraiser 2.
That's mine too.
Hellraiser 1 and 2 are very, very good films. But after that, the amount of absolute trash in this franchise is mind-blowing. The Cenobites are a great idea. Ashley Lawrence is fucking phenomenal. I was so excited to see her come back, and then her cameo was so bad. That was so badly done to me. So to me, 1 and 2 aren't good enough to save what the rest of the franchise did to Hellraiser, in my opinion. So number 10 for me, I'm with Justin. It was pretty easy for me. It was Hellraiser because the length, how many movies there were that were so bad, made it drop down to number 10 for me.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to surprise everybody here, and I might anger some. Number 10 for me is Phantasm. And this was hard, I'll admit. I pinballed between 2 of them. But for me, I know there are fans of the 3rd one. I like 1 and 2. I don't care for the other 3 at all. I really don't. And I say that, and you might go, well, Nick, Hellraiser has more films in the franchise, and 2 more films in the franchise that you could say are bad. Yes, but I think that Hellraiser and Hellbound, I think I like both of those movies better than any Phantasm movie, if I'm being honest. So I'm going with Phantasm as 10. What's up, Jamie? How you doing? And
hey,
and it's not that I don't like some of the films. Like I said, I really enjoy the first 2 films. I really, really do. But I haven't ever really been drawn into that franchise.
Sure.
I like the tall man. It's creepy. It's a good idea. But it just never grabbed me. It never really grabbed me. So no hate on anyone that loves that franchise. But for me, that's my 10. So,
okay.
And since we all didn't agree here, we don't have to go back and forth about that franchise. I'm interested to see where we do agree. I will tell you one thing. I know Justin and I are going to agree on number 1. I bet you guys can't guess at all what it is. And I know Ken's not going to agree with us on number 1. But I digress. I know where you're going with 1, Ken. I already know.
I want to throw in Ken. Hellbound's my favorite of the franchise too. I forgot to say Hellbound, my favorite of the Hellraiser franchise. So.
Me too.
Yeah, same here.
Love that. What's
up, Andrew?
Hey, Andrew.
All right, and I do, Ollie. I do like Hellraiser 3 as well. I think Hellraiser 3 is pretty good. Holy freaking crap, Jay, my dude.
What's up, dude?
Hey.
Man.
Sweet.
That's my dude.
First of all, I just want to say thank you so much. I still have not been able to access any of the super chats I've gotten because you can only access them once a month. So I haven't been able to access anything, but I appreciate you continuing to pile on and contribute, Jay. That means a lot. I know you work hard for your money, as we all do. It means a lot that you want to support the channel and that, we bring you some kind of enjoyment. And as long as it stays that way for you, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not going anywhere until you guys say, dude, you suck. Get out of here. But thank you. Thank you, brother. I love you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're healthy. Hope you're happy. And always appreciate the support to this channel because it's just a little rinky-dink channel, but you guys make it work, all right?
That we all love very much.
Yes, we do. We love your channel.
So, I think what we should do here is, since Justin went first last time, I'll go first, and then you go first. Like, we'll do a whole thing that we don't put the pressure on Justin every time. Because I hate being the one that goes first every single time.
No,
so I don't want to do that to you.
Yeah. No, I got you. What's up, La Crypta? How you doing, brother?
They might throw Skittles at me, and I'm like, no, I can't. No, guys, no.
All right, so Ken, number 9.
This is Phantasm.
Okay.
This was another one that was pretty easy for me. I love Angus Scrimm, and to be honest with you, the Tall Man haunted my nightmares as a kid. The sphere alone is something that really got me. I loved Phantasm, but it's another one that Reggie Bannister was another great part of Phantasm. But this is another one that really went downhill the more it went. But I just feel like because there weren't as many sequels, and again, Phantasm Ravager. I know someone in the comments said they loved it. I'm sorry, I could not get into that one at all.
Yeah, Sarah, she's a defender. Hey,
Sarah, I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I couldn't get into it. Art is subjective, and if you love it, that's great. I'm sorry, I didn't. But it's just that's the one for me that I had to. Hey, La Crypta, great job. That's
how you doing, buddy?
For me.
Thank you.
So, and another thing with this franchise, it kind of went off the railings there at the end. The end just got really ridiculous. I love the way they closed it all up at the very end, so you know that there was some closure on it, but it really went off the rails towards the later sequel. So number 9 for me was Phantasm.
Awesome. And real quick, just because I always want to make sure I give you guys the floor when anybody wants to super chat. La Crypta, thank you so much. I know you found me through Christian, I believe. Thank you for becoming a subscriber and participating in these live chats recently. And most importantly, thank you for your generosity and your kindness. I hope that you're going to dig this discussion. I hope so far you're digging it. But yeah, dude, you guys kick ass. I love you all. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and real quick, someone in the chat was just talking about Don't Breathe 2. I just got to throw that out there because I'm super excited. This coming Friday on my channel, I'll be interviewing Brendan Sexton III, who is the main villain from Don't Breathe 2, about his first horror movie. Hopefully it'll be premiering on Saturday. I don't want to take away from what we're doing here on our franchise ranking. I'm just really stoked this guy got in contact with me and wanted to be a part of it. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. I was super excited about it. So I just had to put
go
that
ahead.
out there real quick.
Go ahead and plug the channel. And I don't mind at all. Go ahead and plug it. Hey, what's up, Matt? Yeah, we are the only. Justin and I have not seen Don't Breathe 2 yet, but as you heard, Ken has, and Ken loved it. So
I did very much.
All right. But again, thank you to everyone that has contributed thus far in this chat. You guys kick ass. Happy Return of the Living Dead Day, La Crypta. Everybody send positive vibes to Christian, by the way. He got his second shot last night and he feels like crap. He texted me today and he said, dude, I feel like shit. And I was like, yeah, you might need a day to just rest, brother. So, I'm sure hopefully he's watching Return of the Living Dead and relaxing. But Justin,
happy Return of the Living Dead Day, everybody.
Yes. All right, Justin, go for it. Hit me with your 9.
All right. Phantasm comes in at number 9 for me too. So, I overall love this franchise. I actually like more of the movies. Actually, I can watch probably all these movies, even though I don't love some of them, more than I can watch some of the later Hellraiser films. For me, 1 and 2 are the standouts. 2 being my favorite of the franchise. I love part 2. 3, I'm very close to loving it. I have a lot of fun with 3. 4 is pretty good. I think that's a pretty good film. And then Ravager, I don't hate it as other people do, but it's okay. Like, that should have been a movie that they made earlier on, like probably after Phantasm 4, because then I think it would have been a better movie. If I remember correct, they had a lot of CGI in that movie, just that wasn't the greatest. And again, I think it was one of those franchises, even though there was a lot of love making Ravager, it didn't turn out as well as I think we all hoped for. Rest in peace, Angus Scrimm. Yes. Tall Man, I love him. I met him, super nice guy. I'm glad they got to get one more movie with him. My problem with this franchise is that, and I don't know if you guys notice this, when you watch these movies, a lot of new characters that they introduce, they never bring them back again. You can get hooked onto a character. I love the lead female character in part 2. I can't remember her name, but I thought she was such a great character. And then in 3, they killed her off. And they did the same thing with later on with other movies. So that's always been one of my problems with this franchise, is introducing new characters and not really using them too much, except for one movie. I like the fact that Don Coscarelli came back and directed the first 4 movies. I like that a lot. This is the franchise that I overall love. But if we're talking about the rest of the franchises, this is definitely one of my least favorite ones.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Sarah, God, y'all are making it rain. Is this a strip club tonight?
Oh, look at that.
Sarah,
Love you, Sarah.
I'm sorry that you won't be here next Monday, but you'll be here in our thoughts and in our hearts. We will be talking American Horror Story next Monday, so Justin's got a busy week ahead.
I know I'm slacking a little bit,
but I'll be there, Sarah.
Yes, but have a great trip, and thank you so much for that generosity. We hope so far you're enjoying the discussion. So for me, man, we're all pretty like-minded, because for me, number 9 is Hellraiser. And yeah, it's not even hard. These two really weren't hard for me, man. I watched them the least. I don't care for most of the later sequels. Hellbound's my favorite. I love the first one as well. I enjoy the third one. After that, I mean, obviously you might find a diamond in the rough here or there, but a lot of them are just pretty crappy. So, it's number 9 for me. It's not really hard. The three of us have put both of these franchises at 9 and 10, so we're pretty like-minded there. But Matt, I have seen Jason Rising. I enjoyed it. You haven't seen it yet?
Not yet. I got to watch it. So.
It's
pretty cool.
I think you'll enjoy it, Justin. As somebody that also liked the Never Hike movies, I think you'll really enjoy Jason Rising.
Yeah,
sweet. I'm gonna watch it.
So, no! You're gonna unplug my phone, dude. Step up. Pick your foot up. Come on, dude. Not right now.
Are you saying step up like put your feet up, or step up like step up? Step up, boy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this 1.5-year-old to fight me right now. He won't. He won't do it. I should give him credit. I should give him credit. He's almost 2. So, but anyway, what's up, Antonis?
Hey, Antonis.
Is my video all right, guys? Am I lagging?
Nope, you're good.
You're good for me. I can't talk about how you look on the replay.
Okay. Let me know if there's any video issues, guys. So then I guess, keeping in the spirit of switching it up with each one, I guess I'm starting with 8.
Yes, sir.
All right.
This is hard. And I feel really bad for this. These next 4 really tugged at my heartstrings. And but if I'm, oh God, I don't know how I can do this. I'm ashamed of myself. Let me just say, these next 8 franchises I love. Okay, so nobody hate on me, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre is 8. The original is one of the best horror movies ever made. The second film is super fun. Really enjoy part 2. I don't care for the third one, but it's not terrible. I hate with a burning fiery passion The Next Generation. And love the remake, love the beginning. Now, as the years have gone on, I'm not as big of a fan of Leatherface as I was. So, there's some misses in there. There's some duds. But it was hard because I find myself watching some of these other franchises ahead of it more. So that's why I'm putting this at 8. It's hard, guys. Don't exile me. I love it, but that's number 8 for me. So I guess that would be Ken now.
No,
Justin.
Oh gosh. Okay, you ready for this? See, I think for you, Nick, you thought this would like exile you out from the group, or people might go, "How dare you put Texas Chainsaw out there?" Mine might get some people going, because as much as I do love this franchise, when it comes to this franchise and then the next one I'm going to talk about, the next one I went more nostalgic for.
You better watch what you say right here, buddy.
My number 8 is the Saw franchise.
Oh my gosh.
For me, again, I have to go, when it comes to Saw, I'm trying to think. There's actually not a film that like is not watchable for me. I'm gonna be honest, but
Jigsaw. God, sorry. I had to clear my throat.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm close to loving that one. Now, one that kind of changed over time that I used to love, and now I'm like, it's my least favorite, is Saw the Final Chapter. It just for
Not
me,
great.
yeah, it did not hold up well. It was a fun 3D experience seeing it in theaters. Spiral, I thought was great. Like I was a fan of Spiral. I thought that was such a great movie. My favorite being Saw 3. I love Saw 3. I think it's the best. And you know what? If it would have been a trilogy, I think it would have been a perfect trilogy. Yeah, there's not a movie I hate in this, but if I'm talking about, franchises, ones that I watch the most, like Saw, I don't watch the most of. Like every once in a while, I'll go back and I'll watch them. But when it comes to the other 7 franchises, I watch those more than I do Saw. But again, I overall love this franchise. It's definitely stronger than Phantasm. It's stronger than Hellraiser. It's definitely stronger than other franchises that we did not even mention on this list of franchises. But for me, if I'm going nostalgic and childhood favorite, this one I'm not as attached to. So.
Okay.
All right, Ken, take it away, brother.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Worst film in the franchise, The Next Generation. The best film is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This film has the absolute worst and absolute garbage timeline of any franchise, not only in the horror genre, but in any genre of movie ever. If this movie didn't have 1 and 2 as part of the franchise, I think this would just legit be the worst franchise of films ever made. From 3 on, and yes, I don't like the remake. I'm not a fan of the remake. There were a couple cool things in it, like the shot going through the girl's head, and when Leatherface actually put on her boyfriend's face as a mask. I thought that was pretty dope. And I think actually my third favorite in the whole franchise is Leatherface, not part 3, but the one with the kids in the hospital that get out. The only thing I don't like about that is the fact that they made the one kid, the big kid, not Leatherface. Like the one kid that was Leatherface was all like articulate and well spoken. Yeah. Like that's not fucking Leatherface, man.
The red herring that wasn't a red herring at all.
Right.
Yeah.
The most obvious is sometimes the best thing to do, but a franchise to me that without 1 and 2 is absolute complete garbage. Triple feature just came in to recap where we're at so far because I love you, triple feature. My 10 was Hellraiser. My 9 was Phantasm. My 8 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's where I'm at so far.
Justin had, yeah. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, mine was Hellraiser for number 10, 9 for Phantasm, and number 8, Saw.
And mine was Phantasm as 10, Hellraiser as 9, Texas Chainsaw Massacre as 8, and Wes, you mentioned Do Your Thing, cuz I totally forgot about the god-awful Texas Chainsaw 3D, and I don't care what Justin says. I don't care what Justin says. It is a bad movie. It is a bad movie, and Justin... Anyway,
Justin. Hey, speaking of Justin, guess who starts for number 7? I'm excited for my number 7 because it's gonna piss everyone off.
It's Halloween. Oh my God, Justin, can you? Hey, Justin, can you go with number 7, please?
I'm going number 7, and again, and maybe one day my 8 and 7 will go back and forth, but right now my number 7 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like the Saw franchise, I can watch all of them. I used to I'll say my favorite one is the original. That's my favorite. Then I would say I love the remake. I love the prequel. Like I love the prequel, the beginning. I think that's underrated in the franchise or underappreciated. When it comes to the rest, I would say Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is a film that I love. It's a lot of fun. There we go. Rudy. Love you, Rudy. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, love it. It's a lot of fun. I like the direction that Tobe Hooper went with that one. Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, I have nostalgic for because I just remember renting that on VHS from the library and thinking, what is this movie? But I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. Still have a lot of fun with it. Next Generation was the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I saw, and it was because it was on an HBO like at midnight, and I'm like, what am I watching? Definitely one of the least favorites of the bunch, but I could still watch it and kind of have a good time with it. Then, like I said, the remake, the prequel, love them. I know Nick doesn't like the Texas Chainsaw 3D movie, but I saw that movie twice in theaters, and me, I love it. I love it. I'm sorry. It does have some bad one-liners.
I'll see you guys later.
Walk out of the room. Just walk out. Walk out.
The thing I don't like about the 3D is when you watch it now, especially when you're not in 3D, it straight up looks like a PlayStation video game when they do the special effects. You know, like, it just drives me fucking bananas. And part one was with its practical effects, for it to come that far the other direction drives me insane.
I do love
honestly
it.
My biggest problem with 3D is just the ambiguity of the time, the time frame, the timeline. They iPhones, but old cars, but you're supposed to be like 40, but you're 20. Like all of that stuff. I'm just like, no.
That was like Studio Aftermath. That was like, okay, let's throw in an iPhone. I'm like, okay, that I can get past. I'm sorry, I can get past that.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know, it's okay. And then Leatherface.
We love you.
I love you guys too. And Leatherface, the new one, I know that's some people consider that one of the best. I think it's probably the worst of the franchise. That's the one where I don't watch the most.
Now I've really had it.
I'm sorry. I'm throwing the mic. If I had a mic, I don't have the mic. But that one I watched.
1031. I agree.
Oh,
sorry, but hey, Justin, I respect it, man. I respect it, and again, we're all pretty close. I mean, you put it as 7. I had it as 8. Ken had it as 8. So far, we've been pretty like-minded. Now, I'm gonna say this. What?
I was saying, Sarah loves Texas Chainsaw 3D. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. 1031. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Ken, who's next? Is it me or you?
This one's me.
Oh, dear God, no, because I don't want to have to follow Ken after he says what he's about to say.
Everybody's going to hate it.
It's okay.
Just do it. Just do it. Just break my heart.
I think I broke it. I think Ken broke your heart a little bit more.
Here's the thing, man. The worst film, obviously, I think we all can agree, is Resurrection. I think that's something we can all agree on. Now, here's where I'm going to catch shit on a double hot take.
Oh, no.
I think that the best film in the Halloween franchise is Season of the Witch. I think that's the best one. Now, if we're talking in the Myers timeline, here's my other
Top
hot
5
take.
for me.
H2O is my favorite in the Myers timeline. I think that Halloween H2O is the best. And as much as I hate the Texas Chainsaw timeline and inconsistencies, this is another franchise that I think it's right up there, man. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis has died too, hopefully 3 times soon. And then you get look, The Shape is an amazing villain. Michael Myers is absolutely amazing. But for me, there's just as many misses in this franchise as there are hits. 1, 3, 4, 5, H2O in 2018, I think are all top tier films. 2, 6, Resurrection, and the 2 Rob Zombie films, I feel are much, much lower. I'm one of the only people that thinks Halloween 2 is the worst horror movie sequel of the big 3. I think Halloween 2 is boring. I think it's slow. I mean, the only redeeming factor of Halloween 2 is how he shot him 6 times. So to me, personally, Halloween is number 7. And I know that this breaks both your hearts. Listen, I love you both so much. But like I said, with 2, 6, Resurrection, 1 and 2 of Rob Zombies being a part of this franchise, it brings it down a lot for me.
Hey, I want to say real quick, dude, I'm glad you appreciate Halloween 5, though, because not a lot of people love Halloween 5. So
absolutely love Halloween 5.
So there we go. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm crying on the inside a little bit, but I'll be okay because I love you. And you know what? I like when we can switch things up. That's why it's great to have these conversations, because it's not all going to be the same. I do
also want to say, I don't hate the Halloween franchise. I think that the good movies in this franchise are fucking amazing. The original Halloween is one of the best horror films ever made. But I just think that the ones that are bad are just bad.
Don't you
is Nick crying? I think Nick,
I love
Nick's
you.
crying a little bit. Nick's like, it's okay. And Nick's like,
I love
it
you.
will be okay.
Okay, first of all,
I loved
hello,
it, though.
film blogger Sam. I appreciate that. Thank you for being a subscriber. I really appreciate that. I see the chat is going wild right now. Ken,
Oh my
you have
goodness.
stirred the pot.
I know. I love you all.
I will not address what Ken said until I get to my Halloween ranking.
By the way, I'm glad you love Halloween H2O. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Nick, but I'm glad you love Halloween H2O, Ken. Because Mr. Nick over here, I don't think
I
is a
want
big
real
fan.
quick. Tell me a more iconic shot ever of Lori and Michael in that mirror or in that window when she sees him.
Yeah,
for the
aside
first
from
time
the fact that the
H2O.
mask sucks ass.
The mask
in
is
that
awful.
shot.
Okay, look. In that timeline, he broke into a Family Dollar instead of a hardware store. That's why he got that mask. But still, that shot right there of those two, like, man, I fucking love it so much. And LL Cool J with his fucking sex book. Like,
He's great. I think LL Cool J is great in that movie.
So
I think
good.
he turned to be a great actor, in my opinion.
Yeah, LL Cool J did fine in the movie, but you know what? Coming in at number 7 for me, guys, is going to be a franchise that's very near and dear to my heart. So this sucks, but it's The Evil Dead. And I will say, people might go, what? Isn't Evil Dead 2013 one of your favorite reboots? Yep. Isn't Evil Dead 2 in your top 10 horror movies of all time? Yep. I think the thing that is the problem with it is that there are only 4 films in this franchise. That's the thing for me. It's like all 4 of them are bangers, and I love them. But there are only 4. So if I'm looking at the 4 movies here, and then I look at, say, something like, I don't know, Halloween, for example, just off the top of my head, it's really hard for me to look at a franchise that has like 12 films now, and one has 4 films, for me to put that above it. Now, I'm going to contradict myself later in my ranking because we haven't even talked about Scream yet. But I don't know. I find the nostalgia from my childhood definitely a part of this choice, because there are other franchises that I grew up with that I watched more. And again, that have more movies. And if there's a franchise that has 5 or 6, say it has 8 movies, and I love 6 of them, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to say, okay, well, that franchise is below Evil Dead. So sure. I agree, 3 Sheets to the Wind. Absolutely. Quality over quantity all day. But everything above Evil Dead, I would argue there are at least 4 great films in every franchise above this, or at least 4 good films. So, but I digress on that. Evil Dead is number 7 for me. So none of us agreed here at all.
None of us have agreed. I don't think.
And I think it's Ken. Is it your turn to start off 6?
Yep.
Hit me.
Ooh.
Number 6 for me is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow.
The worst film for me actually is 5, The Dream Child. The best one is A Nightmare on Elm Street. My favorite one is A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I think up in an argument for the best one is number 3, The Dream Warriors. I think that's up there. Freddy Krueger, I think when it comes to the big 3 villains, he's the best one. He's the one with the most charisma, and it's always been Robert Englund. I don't count the remakes. It's always been Robert Englund as Freddy. Jason, it was always Jason Voorhees, but there was someone else under the mask. Michael Myers, it was always him, but there was always someone under the mask. This was always Robert Englund. But after 4, the franchise goes downhill really bad. 5, Freddy's dead. It gets a little bit of redeeming in New Nightmare. New Nightmare, I think, is fantastic. And then you got the remake, which is just not very well. And even Robert Englund couldn't save 5 and 6. So for me, 1 through 4 are absolutely phenomenal. But then after that, you got New Nightmare, and then that's just surrounded by a whole bunch of garbage and shit. So coming in for me at number 6 is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
And is it me?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm okay. Coming in at number 6 for me is Saw. And people are like, really? You know what? Honestly, tomorrow I'd probably put Saw below The Evil Dead, if we're being honest. But in the moment, that's how I ranked it. And here's why. I think Saw 3 is fantastic. I think Saw 2 is really good. I think Saw is fantastic. I think Saw 4 is fantastic. I don't care what anybody says. I think it's fantastic. Saw 5 is not very good. Saw 6, surprisingly good. Saw 7, nah. Jigsaw, please gouge my eyes out. Spiral, okay. But again, Saw 1 through 3, even though this is a modern horror franchise, that's a fantastic trilogy. At the beginning, the first movie has one of the best twists and reveals I've ever seen. I don't know, man. These are some of the first horror movies I saw in theaters. I remember Saw 2 was one of the first horror movies I saw in theaters. I was like 12. And that's crazy that was in 05. My God. But, I really, really enjoy the franchise. I really, really do. And Saw 4 is also one of my favorites, Jay and Antonis. It's also one of Ken's favorites. I'm not mistaken. But, yeah. So that's going to be number 6 for me is Saw. Justin.
All right, I want to give 2 shout-outs real quick. I see some comments in the chat. Thank you, Rudy. Wearing a Halloween 3 t-shirt. And then Brian Goes Blue. He talked about Puppet Master. That's a franchise I need to go back and revisit because I don't remember them as much. But they just reached 500 subscribers. I believe 500 subscribers on their channel. So congratulations to Brian and Coco.
Yeah, great job.
Doing a fantastic job over there. But coming in at number 6, this might be a little controversy too. I don't know. But I'm going Child's Play for number 6. So, I love this franchise. There's only one film that I dislike. I don't even hate it. I just dislike it. I get irritated when I watch it. My favorite being the first film. I like that it's still eerie today. I love it. Child's Play 2 is my third favorite. I do love it. Child's Play 3, I like it. Actually, I'm very close to loving that movie. I know some people don't like it, but I'm close to loving it.
Ken loves it.
Bride of Chucky. This might be a little controversy, but that is my favorite after the original movie. I love Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky fucking rocks, man.
Love it. Yes. Thank you, Ken. I love it. What is it? Seed of Chucky. I hated it first. I hated it when I first saw it. I've grown to kind of just have a good time with it. It's one of my least favorites.
The deaths are fucking fantastic. The kills in that movie,
yeah,
fucking great.
Yes. Curse of Chucky. I love it. Cult of Chucky. That's a hot mess of a film that I'm just not a fan of. And then the remake. I'm counting the remake. I really love. I love the remake. Yeah, I love that remake. I know it kind of gets some hate, but I do love that remake.
I think all 3 of us in here love the remake. So
we absolutely do.
Yeah.
So quick, Sam, you're absolutely right, man. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and it's probably weighing on all 3 of our lists a lot.
Oh yeah.
But Ken, what's your 6?
I already did mine. Mine was Nightmare. You
started. Okay, I got to start. Oh my God, I'm so underdressed. All right, so number 5. This is top 5, guys. So from here on out, all these franchises are truly, truly like quintessential bangers.
Yeah, for me it was 7 on. Starting Halloween down. Love them.
Yeah. I would say so as well. Number 5 is Child's Play. I love the first film. The second film's my favorite. I have grown to enjoy the third film, especially recently. Watched it again not long ago. Never hated it, but Bride of Chucky is just, it's badass. I don't really know if there's another word you can like put to describe that movie. I think it describes it perfectly. Seed of Chucky is poo-poo. Curse of Chucky is awesome. Cult of Chucky is fun, but a freaking mess. And I love the remake. So, I feel like there are so many films in this franchise that are bangers. Also, part of this is just, I grew up on Chucky, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us did. You grow up on Chucky and it's like, you're a kid, a killer doll, when you're a kid freaks you out because everybody had, you know, action figures and dolls and stuffed animals and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, when you watch it, it doesn't creep you out so much, but it's like, it's just so entertaining. So that's my number 5, Child's Play. I'm digging in.
All right.
Who's next?
Who is next? Okay, me. Now I want to say, you guys said 7 and up are franchises that you love, overall love. Is that what it was? For me, it's like Saw, and then everything after Saw. Like, I just love them. But number 5 for me, it's the one that has. Well, it's kind of even with the next one, but we are going to get another film. But Evil Dead comes in at number 5 for me. I love this franchise. I know we only have 4 films. We have a 5th one coming. We also have the TV show, which I've seen parts of. Great show. But I love Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead 2. I go back and forth sometimes. Is the original Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2 my favorite? Army is it Army of Darkness?
Yes, sir.
Very close to loving it. Like, very close to loving that. Like, very, very close. And then the remake. Like, I saw that movie in theaters, and when I first saw it, I disliked it. I love that remake now. Like, that has become a remake where every time I watch it, I love it more and more. I thought they did such a great job with that remake. But like I said, Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, those are 2 films that they always get me in that fall mood. So like when that first kind of crisp air of fall weather comes, I got to put on Evil Dead 1 and 2. I love those movies. I love this franchise, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the new film coming out.
I'm
year.
stoked.
So.
I'm stoked for Evil Dead Rise. Like I really am.
Yep.
But all right, solid.
So number 5.
Wow, I was wrong. I thought that was going to be your number 1.
That is not my number 1. Number 5 is Friday the 13th. It's my favorite of the big 3. The worst film is Jason Takes Manhattan, in my opinion. My favorite film is Part 3, but I think the best one of this franchise is Part 4, the final chapter. The only real stinkers being Manhattan and Jason X. Look, I know Jason X gets a lot of love because it's different and whatever, but I can't get into it. I mean, I think some of the kills in it are great, but I think that overall it's a weak film. I think they were just they were purposely trying to make a so bad it's good horror movie, and that doesn't work for me in a Friday the 13th franchise. Mega Jason at the end was cool, but I'm not a big fan of that. But the kills in this franchise are awesome. I love the kills throughout the Friday the 13th franchise. I know you guys just did all that. And I got to defend something real quick, Antonis. I love Jason Goes to Hell. I think Jason Goes to Hell is a lot of fun. And I think that I love the way they tie the Evil Dead into that with the Necronomicon, and they make Jason Voorhees a Deadite. I think that that's completely amazing. But again, it's all subjective. You know, everybody has their reasons for what they like and what they don't like. But my big thing is I really hope that we get the lawsuit figured out here soon, so we can finally get the Blumhouse's Friday the 13th. I think that would be amazing. But I really enjoy. I love the Friday the 13th franchise. The first piece of Sledgehammer horror merchandise that I ever made was a Friday the 13th Sledgehammer horror mask. I think it's a fantastic franchise, but the movies that are weak in this, Takes Manhattan, Jason X, like these movies are so weak that it brings it down it's in my top 5, but right at the bottom of my top 5.
Yeah. I mean, I can respect it.
Me too.
Antonis, I agree. Jason Goes to Hell is also my least favorite. And Sam, yes, Evil Dead 2013 is it's such a banger. It's so good. Like, it's so good. So, and the gore, fantastic. I freaking love that movie.
Real quick, I want to just say, Jason Goes to Hell. I have a good time with that one. I really loved watching Adam Marcus talking about that movie with those Scream Factory features, and you know he's a fan of Evil Dead, so I love how he intertwined that. Like Ken said, like Jason became a Deadite, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Like going back and looking at all that stuff. I just thought that was neat. So
Yeah, I did
Adam
too.
Marcus was specifically told, "Get that fucking mask out of my movie."
Yeah.
Like he was told that they didn't want that mask anymore. They were tired of the hockey mask, and like he said it in interviews. There's a podcast out there, just search for it, where he goes in depth about how the studio was like, "Get that fucking mask out of here, get it out. We don't want to see it anymore." So I mean, like he did what he had to do, and I think that the route he went was awesome with Jason Goes to Hell with what he had to work with.
It was great. I have a great time with it. So.
Maybe I'll grow an appreciation for it as the years go on. But right now, that's where I am. Justin, you're taking the lead on number 4, buddy.
All right. So number 4.
What's up, Kevin?
What's up, Kevin? Number 4 is Scream. I love this franchise. Like I love these movies, and I'm looking forward to next year's Scream. It's going to kick off 2022 in a great way. First of all, rest in peace, Wes Craven. I love the fact that he came back, directed all 4 of the movies. The strongest thing about all 4 of those movies is Wes Craven. Mm-hmm. Love Wes Craven. But yeah, Scream for me, it's like I remember '96. Renting it on VHS. That's when I first saw it. And I think we watched it 3 times before we returned the movie. And this is when it came out on VHS. I have so many great memories with Scream. Scream 2, such a strong sequel. I love Scream 2. Mm-hmm. It is in my top 10 favorite horror movie sequels of all time. I love it so much. Scream 3, I know it gets some hate, but I'm very close to loving that one. Like, I think it would have been, if they did not do Scream 4, it would have been a perfect trilogy. Scream 4, I go back and forth. If Scream 3 and Scream 4 is my least favorite, but again, I'm very close to loving Scream 4. I have a great time watching these movies. Every time I watch them, they're a perfect marathon franchise to watch. I love all the connections between each one of them. Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott. She's great. David Arquette as Dewey. Courtney Cox as Gail. And then everybody else. I think overall, each film has had a perfect cast. And, for me, I love this franchise. So Scream being my favorite of the franchise, but I love these movies.
Okay. Am I going, Nick, or are you?
I don't remember.
I'll go.
Go ahead. Oh,
nice.
Number 4 for me, Saw. I think that one thing I want to say right now, 4 through 1 could interchange daily for me. I think 4 through 1 all have tops and bottoms in their franchise. My worst film in Saw for me was Jigsaw. My favorite being Saw 3. I wouldn't see Saw. I saw the original Saw. That's not any better in the theater, and I'll never forget. We saw it. There hadn't been spoiled yet. We were there opening night, and when John Kramer stood up in that bathroom, like that whole theater was just like everybody in there felt it. And ever since then, Saw has been tops for me. Towards the end, it gets a little more about twists and craziness than it does the good story, which kind of got brought back with Spiral. I feel like Spiral really did have a good way of coming back and taking it to the next chapter. But amazing villain. I mean, Jigsaw is one of the most prevalent villains in all of horror. And the kills throughout this franchise, I don't know if you want to call them kills, Jigsaw with his high and mighty bullshit, but the traps in this franchise are absolutely fantastic. I think Saw is, as high as people think about it, I still think it's underrated because people in the horror world love it. People in the regular world just look at it as gore porn. So I really think that Saw is an amazing franchise with an amazing story, and I can't wait to see. I've heard rumors that they're going to do a Saw 9 and a Spiral 2. They're going to keep the 2 going. Really? So that's something I'm excited about as well. I'm very excited to see where we go from this. So for me, 4 would be the Saw franchise.
Respect it.
Yeah, I gotta say I love the connection, by the way. I rewatched all the Saw movies, and each one of the films connect really well, and I love that part of it.
Yep. Number 4 for me is A Nightmare on Elm Street. The scariest of the big three is Freddy Krueger. I don't care who you are; he's the scariest. I will say this franchise has the worst film in the out of the big three, I think, and that for me is Freddy's Dead. So Ken, I know yours is Dream Child. I don't care for either, but I think Dream Child for me is more watchable than Freddy's Dead. But obviously,
I gotta throw this out there real quick. The only reason I don't put Freddy's Dead, I don't think Freddy's Dead is a better film. But my uncle took me and my cousins to see Freddy's Dead in cinema in 3D when I was a kid. So I do have that nostalgia of, we were talking earlier, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, of me and my uncle and all of us going in there and watching it with the 3D glasses on. And it was just a kick-ass experience for me as a little boy. So that's why Freddy's Dead is a little higher for me. Strictly, not because of the film, but because of the memories that come along with it for me.
Yeah,
for sure. The movie's a complete pile of fucking dog shit.
But, it's like, I love the first film. I love Freddy's Revenge. Dream Warriors is fantastic. The Dream Master is fun. New Nightmare is a really cool throwback old school monster movie. And I don't care really for Freddy vs. Jason. I just rewatched it last week, and it still does not hold up well, I don't think. Final Battle's cool. I'll give it that. And I like the remake. I know it's Ken's least favorite remake. Justin and I both we both like the remake quite a bit. For what it is very imperfect. I can admit that, but I think it's going to be Nightmare. I think it's going to be Nightmare at 4.
There was one time in the 90s I was wrong too. It happens to all of us, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, kind of like Halloween is number 7. But yeah. I think that the good films in this series are really freaking good. Yeah. So I just feel like, and because Freddy Krueger scared the crap out of me as a kid, and I used to stay at my grandparents' house all the time, and I would stay in my uncle's old room. He had a waterbed. Talk about nightmare fuel. So that's going to be 4 for me. Now, am I up for 3 as well?
Yeah,
I think I am. Yeah,
I think you are.
You guys get to hear me talk some more, huh? Number 3. This is once I say number 3, everybody's going to know the next 2. Don't say anything in the chat yet, guys. Wait for me to get there to defend myself. Number 3 is Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
This is quite the change for the Lost River Drive-In. Let me tell you that. About a year ago, I would have said Friday the 13th would have been in the bottom 5. I went back and rewatched all the movies when we were leading up to our UNITA episode with Pizzal. And, dude, the first 4 movies are awesome. Like, and part 3 is my favorite. But the first 4 are awesome. Part 5, for what it is, I still really enjoy it. Part 6 is way too good for a 6th movie in a horror franchise. It is way too good for a 6th movie in a horror franchise. It's not perfect, but it's really
the best Jason.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah.
The new Blood, it's okay. I think my issues with that film are a lot to do with some of the characters, some of the decisions that some characters make. Some of it's kind of in the end. Takes Manhattan is fun for what it is, but it's not good. Jason Goes to Hell is my least favorite. Jason X is so dumb, but it's fun. I have enjoyment when I watch it because it's fun. I am an ardent. I do not like the remake, period. The first 15 minutes are fantastic. The first 15 minutes of that remake were just insane. I mean, I loved the first 15, 20 minutes of that remake. After that, no.
Stop it.
And
Chewie and Lawrence are awesome, man.
And I know everybody, in the chat, and you two are going to, I know everyone's gonna be like, the remake, you don't like the remake. I've been very vocal about this. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's got some great kills. I think Derek Mears does great. I think the opening is awesome. But that for me is number 3. And I'm telling you, it's crazy because a couple months ago, I said that A Nightmare, I would say Friday the 13th was the weakest of the big 3. And then went back and rewatched both of those franchises. I was like, oh no, it's not the worst. I really think that Friday is a better franchise overall than Nightmare. I just do. And not often do you find, really, let's just say the first 6 films of a horror franchise are pretty damn good. And Roy Burns, I will defend till I die. But I'm done talking. I digress. Number 3 is Friday the 13th. Justin?
Okay, my turn. Number 3, A Nightmare on Elm Street is my number 3. Now, again, like, I love this franchise. -1. Now, there's one I just don't like.
And it's Dream Warriors. His favorite's Freddy's Dead.
By the way, Ken, I have to say I do love your story of when you saw Freddy's Dead. I think nostalgia is very important, and memories are great. So, because I'm like that with Halloween 5, and we'll talk about that later. But Nightmare on Elm Street, classic. I love it. It's not my favorite of the franchise, but I love it. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, I love. Freddy's Revenge. I remember 1 and 2 as a kid, being 5 years old, behind a couch, practically could not move because I was so terrified. And I think Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is such a great sequel. I love it.
And we will be watching that tomorrow night on our live commentary. Freddy's Revenge, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock.
Good movie.
Dream Warriors, not my favorite of the franchise. It actually ranks in at number 5. But overall, I love it.
Wow. That blows me away a little bit, to be honest with you, because I've never met anybody that didn't have it in their top 3. That's incredible. I like that.
Number 5 for me. Dream Master. If New Nightmare is a standalone movie, because a lot of people consider it a standalone movie, Dream Master would be my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street sequel. I love Dream Master. From the music to the kills to the characters. I think, and this is an unpopular opinion, I think this is the best group of characters we've had in a movie. I think every character is very likable. I always hate when they die in this movie. Love the soundtrack. Love Dan, the man in this movie. I gotta say, I love Dan. Dream Master's just fantastic in my opinion. I love it. Dream Child. I didn't like it when I first saw it, but I've grown to overall love it. It's definitely a step down from the first 4 movies, but I have a great time with this. I got to quote something and say, Greta, that's not what a cover girl puts in her body. So I got to quote that. Freddy's Dead, not my favorite. I hate this movie. I just got to, I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of Freddy's Dead. I've watched it several times and I try to get into it. I'm just not a big fan. I think they took that was just comedy in general. I mean, yes, 4, 5, there was some comedy, there was humor there, but I can watch those and go, okay, Freddy's scary, there's some pretty eerie moments in them. Freddy's Dead was just like, okay, we're just now kind of getting into a mess there. New Nightmare, my favorite of the franchise, the entire Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I love New Nightmare. I know some people don't like it, and totally fine. We all have our opinions, but New Nightmare for me, best performances. Heather Langenkamp, she is amazing in this movie.
Yes, she is.
The highway scene where Dylan's being terrorized by Freddy, and she's this mother trying to get to her child and protect him. Terrifying. Love New Nightmare. And then the remake. I really enjoy the remake. I have flaws with it. I think Rooney Mara, obviously she did not want to be in the movie, and she was very vocal after the film came out. Some CGI moments, not all of them, but definitely some of them. Like, the whole thing, Freddy coming out of the wall, it's like you could have done practical there, and it worked so much better in the original movie.
What are you talking about? I'm just kidding.
And then, some of the side characters that they would, the friends in the film, I think they should have written them better and developed them better, because I felt like they killed them off quick, and then we had Rooney Mara. and Quentin, which Quentin was a great character, but we had Rooney Mara. So, and Katie Cassidy was a much better character than Rooney Mara was in that movie. So, but yeah.
What's up, John? How you doing?
Hey, John.
All right,
John.
Ken. What's your 3? Oh.
I am going with Scream for my number 3. The worst film in the franchise is Scream 3, which is still not a bad film. The best is Scream. Now, here's my thing. Whether you love or you hate the Scream franchise, you cannot deny the impact this had on the horror genre. I've talked about this before. Look at the 3 years before Scream, the horror movies came out, and look at the horror movies the 3 years after Scream. And you'll see just how impactful and how amazing Scream was on the horror genre. And you can actually liken that to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, because that was really his first attempt at a meta movie. And then he took that to the next level with Scream when he realized what he had the potential of doing. Another thing I love about the Scream franchise is you have the same killer in every movie, but it's a different killer in every movie. That's another thing I love about Scream. It's always Ghostface, but it's always someone new under that mask. And I think that's absolutely amazing. I think that Scream 5 is going to be fantastic and controversial, maybe, especially with you two, because of franchise we haven't talked about yet on your guys' end. The best final girl, I think, in all of horror is Cindy Prescott. I think she's the best. She hasn't died 3 times. She's been in every movie. She's kicked all type of Ghostface ass. So for me, number 3, Scream.
Ken, Halloween may be my favorite movie of all time, but I have been on record as saying that Sidney Prescott is the best final girl.
Yeah,
and
same here.
I will because as much as I love Laurie Strode, she's just not as badass as Sidney Prescott.
No.
And Sidney Prescott has taken on all of these killers, and she's whooped all their asses. So, yeah, she's
from
number
the
1.
first movie she did.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, Nick. But
no, you're good. You're good.
From that first movie, Sydney was like, "Okay, I got you guys." Like after she was, Sydney's my favorite final girl in the horror movie genre. I absolutely love Sydney.
T. Parker, what's up, brother?
Hey, T. Parker.
So we've all given 3. Now it's 2, and I think, is it you or Justin, Ken?
I can go.
Okay.
So now I'm going to be kind of a cheater here because 1 and 2 are impossible for me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have a 1A and a 1B, because with these 2 franchises, it is impossible for me to choose. So for me, 1B.
Love it, dude.
We have The Evil Dead.
Ballsy.
Now, here's where I'm going to have a little bit of a hot take. The worst film in the Evil Dead franchise is The Evil Dead. The first one, I think, is the worst one. The best one, I think, is Evil Dead 2. It's a bloody, gory, hilarious, everything about this franchise. And it's funny because this is the only franchise that I can think of really in the horror genre that follows a final guy throughout the whole franchise. You don't have a male villain that's always consistent. You don't have a final girl that's always consistent. It's your final guy in Ash Williams. And what a fucking great final guy to have, because he's absolutely perfect. Scream 2, fuck. I'm still thinking about Scream because I just read Nev Campbell. I just read over here, Sydney, the Ultimate Final Girl. And I agree with you, 1031. But Evil Dead 2, I think, is as close to a perfect movie when it comes to my personality, of the comedy that I love and the horror that I love. I think Evil Dead 2 is just about perfect. And I think the remake is better than the original. I love the reason they went to the cabin in the remake. It wasn't just, hey, let's go out and party and have sex with each other. To me, we're going to get our sister clean. We're going to get her out here. We're going to make her dump the dope. She's not going to be able to go anywhere. We're going to make sure she's clean. I'm very excited for Evil Dead Rise. Ash vs. the Evil Dead was absolutely phenomenal. And then I hear word on the street is somebody very close to us all right now is in the middle of writing an Evil Dead fan film. And it picks up right after the events of Evil Dead 2, 30 years later, and it takes out Army of Darkness completely. And I will say this, in the Evil Dead fan film, you will finally, for the first time ever, learn what really happened to Professor Nobi, because that's one question that's never been answered. So in this Evil Dead fan film that is almost done being written, you are going to learn what happened to Professor Raymond Noby and the rest of his family after the events of Evil Dead 2. So stay tuned for more information on that as well. So number 1B for me is Evil Dead.
All right, Justin, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is Halloween. I'm just kidding. It's Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. So there's not one movie in this franchise where I can't watch them. Like, I love some, I really enjoy some, and I enjoy some. The original film, I used to always say was my favorite. It's now kind of in the top 5, top 4, but I love it. It started the slasher craze in the 80s, and it's still one of the best in the 80s. Friday the 13th Part 2, top 3. I love Friday the 13th Part 2. I think it's one of my go-tos of the franchise. It's just always, in my opinion, just a great film. I love it. I love Sackhead Jason. I think he's quite creepy in that movie.
All love Sacks here, man. I'm telling you. Sacks are my fave too.
Dude, besides the remake, Jason, I think that 2 is the scariest.
Yes, I agree with you, Ken. Part 3, great movie. I love that film. It's in my top 5. It ranks right in my top 5. Final Chapter, it's my second favorite. I love the Final Chapter. That's one of the best of the franchise. I mean, I still get chills when the guy's down in the basement saying, he's killing me, he's killing me. Telling Trish to get out of there. He is killing me. I'm dying. You need to go. Let's see. New Beginning. I don't get the hate for it. I know some people hate it, but
yeah, Sam needs to shut his whore mouth.
Sam, we love you though. I'm close to loving New Beginning. I think it's great. You got the dance, the soundtrack. Violet's a great character. I can reenact the dance, but I'm not going to do it here right now. Jason Lives, Part 6. That is my favorite of the franchise. I absolutely love it. Love that movie. It is my favorite of that franchise. New Blood is a film that I really enjoy. It's a film that I go to quite a bit because I'm like, if I want a fun, like, kind of just almost over the top Friday the 13th film, I will put on New Blood. Jason Takes Manhattan. It's one of my favorites. I love that movie. I know it's silly. I know it's got problems, but I love it. I mean, JJ with the guitar, absolutely love her. Jason Goes to Hell gets too much hate. I think it's an overall great one. I have a fun time watching it. I like what they were going for with the Deadite stuff, and a lot of respect for some change in a movie. Jason X, fun time. It's a good time. I can watch it, and I don't hate it. What else do we got here? We got the remake, which I know Nick just absolutely loves it. That is his favorite of the franchise. I overall love it. I overall love it. Besides some characters in the movie, I could sit down with that movie and have a great time with it. So I don't think it's bad. I think I mentioned all of them. I mentioned all of them.
Whoa! So, Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, Freddy versus Jason. I really enjoy it. So I really enjoy it. It's a fun time. It's a good time. So you got two iconic villains head to head with each other. It's a fun time, man.
All right.
But yeah, that's my number 2.
Number 2.
Where'd he go? Oh, okay, there we go.
Yes.
Surprise, Justin.
Oh, wow. I love it though. Dude, I love it.
I am going to be a lone wolf here. I don't know if it's because Scream imitates Halloween, and that's why I love it so much. I don't know if it's because Wes Craven is a god at filmmaking. I don't know if it's because Ghostface, just Roger L. Jackson's voice is iconic. Sidney Prescott is the best final girl I've ever seen. Scream 1 and 2 are some of the smartest, self-aware, effective slasher thrillers I've ever seen. Scream 3 went a little too crazy with the meta and trying to be self-referential, but it's still enjoyable. Scream 4 was a really good rebirth for the franchise. Justice for Hayden. She's not dead.
Yeah.
Oh, she's dead as fuck.
I know she is, but stop. And I am looking forward to Scream 2022 more than any other horror film over the next calendar year. Oh, gotta make sure my mask looks okay. But for me, Scream is my number 2. And Ken started this, and I'm glad he started it because I wanted to double down on this and say Scream saved horror. Scream saved slashers. Without 100%. Scream, without Scream, who knows where horror goes? We were in a very dark place in the early 90s with horror. And watch any horror documentary. Watch any documentary talking about a franchise, and they'll tell you that was the low point. Nobody knew where to go story-wise. No studios wanted to finance and distribute these films. Nobody wanted to do it. And then Wes Craven goes, I got this cool idea. And a studio bought into it because they were like, oh, you're kind of like poking fun at your own genre. Okay, maybe that'll work. And then that was the spark that lit the fire, that just blew it back up again. And I mean, Scream is it's just so like essential, and it's so consequential for where horror is today and the fact that horror didn't die. And I don't know, man. Scream is my number 2. Mm-hmm. And I am so excited for that next film that if it's bad, I might cry myself to sleep. Because I've waited a decade. Y'all better come out swinging with that movie. Yep. I love it.
Before we get to number 1, there's a couple things I want to say. One, Ali. The reason there's no Of the Dead Romero, because we handpicked the 10 franchises, and we chose of these 10 franchises. Now, these are not our top 10 favorite horror franchises. We picked the 10 and ran with them and just went these ones in order, because I would have personally put Final Destination in here as one of my favorites. So, and Of the Dead is in mine too, and Alien as well. So this isn't a thing where we're picking our favorites. We picked a list of 10 and we just chose from that 10. So
I think it's actually,
we didn't leave out the Romero movies. I promise you, all 3 of us, I'm sure, would have put that in our top 10. Yeah. But we kind of did like random or what's it called?
We randomly picked like
randomly picked list.
It was more just about the 10 horror franchises. I mean, it's not, you could say Leprechaun, you could say Final Destination, but like these are 10 of the most talked about horror franchises. Yeah. So that's really what it was about, was like, let's take the 10 that people seem to talk about the most and let's pit them against each other and find out which one reigns supreme, basically, in our opinion.
Another fun thing when you were talking about Scream, how funny is it that in Scream 1, they're watching Halloween, and then in Halloween H2O, they're watching Scream 2. Like, that to me is one of the funniest things ever. Like,
Jamie Lee's breasts. When do we see Jamie Lee's breasts?
We don't see it till Trading Places when you get legit.
Mm-hmm. I'll be right back.
But you won't be back. I want to give credit to Kevin Williamson too, because he, in my opinion, knows how to write characters.
Yeah.
He is so good at writing characters. And I know some of his films and television shows could be 50-50 with people, but he knows how to write characters. Mm-hmm. The first 2 movies, knows how to write them, knows how to write emotion. I mean, Wes Craven also knows how to do that. I give credit to both of them, but Kevin Williamson, awesome writer.
That's why I think Scream 3 sticks out like a sore thumb. And not that it's a bad movie, but you can tell it was written by someone else. The characters aren't as likable. The story isn't as smart. You know what I mean? Like some of it's more predictable. And I mean, I do enjoy, I don't mind the Roman Bridger reveal at the end of 3. I thought that was cool that he was kind of the mastermind behind the whole thing. But character development wise, comedy wise, it really falls flat. And I think that's because it wasn't Williamson. So,
See, this is why Scream 4, though, and Scream 3 go 50-50 with me, though, because I know Kevin Williamson wrote a majority of Scream 4, but if you remember, they had problems with that midway into making that movie. Like, Kevin Williamson walked off the set. He was like, I'm done. There's something between him and the Weinsteins, and
Yeah,
we all know they like him.
The studio continued. The Weinstein Company had one of the biggest fall from graces I've ever seen because they had some great IP. They had Halloween, they had Scream, and they started to meddle with the directors and the writers in these films, and it really started to show. Like, they meddled with Rob Zombie's Halloween. Not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Rob Zombie's Halloween, and you can tell there's some studio meddling in there. Scream 4, you can tell there's studio meddling in there. And then not only did they screw all their IP, but then you know what happened after that. So fuck both of them.
Scream 4, I would say Scream. Yeah, I know. I agreed. Scream 4 could have been, like, in my opinion, I know that's a lot of people's favorites. It could have been a perfect sequel if they would not have meddled into the writing and all that stuff. It could have been perfect because you could tell when Kevin Williamson was his writing in that movie compared to the writer of Scream 3.
It also would have been
there's a difference in writing.
Yes, it would have been a better sequel too if they didn't use some stupid ass Instagram filter to film the whole damn movie. I watched that movie and I feel like half the time I have to squint because I'm like, what is it? Like, what?
Really?
It's a great movie though. I love Scream 4. I think it's a really good movie, but like, there's some things that were so easily fixable, and I'm like, how did you guys let this pass? Like, I don't know.
I'll just say this, going back to the Weinsteins, I'm glad they're not around anymore. Pieces of crap.
Fuck that.
And also because they were very known for meddling in their projects that people were doing. Rob Zombie has said it. Kevin Williamson, Wes Craven, they all said it. Like, they put a lot of input into the films, and
that's not good input because guess what? Y'all aren't filmmakers. You were just rich dudes that had the money to distribute the movies. Okay, you don't know a damn thing about making films. But I digress. Justin, it's with you. Number one.
Hold on, before we do it, I think that we should do a recap before we say our number one and go 10 through 2. That way, the people that join the chat a little bit late will be able to hear what we did in the meantime. So I just wanted to throw that out real quick.
I think that's a great idea, Ken.
All right, well then we'll go. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
My number 10 was Hellraiser. Number 9 was Phantasm. Number 8 was Saw. Number 7 was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 6, Child's Play. Number 5, The Evil Dead. Number 4, Scream. Number 3, Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 2, Friday the 13th. And for me, the one that got me into not only love for horror movies, but love for films. This boy right here. Halloween franchise.
Kill the boogeyman.
You can't kill the boogeyman. For me, when I think of memories and I think of nostalgic stuff, I always go to Halloween. Halloween, the original film, is not only my favorite horror movie, it's my favorite film. I give credit to everybody who was involved with that movie. Carpenter. John Carpenter is my favorite director of all time. Deborah Hill, rest in peace. I miss her. She and Carpenter together made a perfect movie. I love that film. Love the writing. Love the directing. Michael Myers is scary in that movie. Love the characters, acting. Everything about it I love. Halloween 2, for me, it's a perfect sequel. I love Halloween 2. It's the film, like, right after when I first saw Halloween. I saw Halloween 2 afterwards. I love it. Halloween 3. Absolutely love this movie. Love Halloween 3. And I'm so glad more people love and appreciate the movie like I did when I first saw it. Because when Halloween 3, when I first saw it, no one was talking about it. And if they were talking about it, they were talking bad things about it. I love Halloween 3. I think it's awesome. Awesome movie. Halloween 4, easily one of my favorites. I love Halloween 4. I think that's, despite the mask not being the greatest, I think it could be a scary sequel. It could be a fun sequel. Love the characters. Danielle Harris, Jamie Lloyd, great character. Ellie Cornell, absolutely love her as Rachel. Just love that movie so much. Halloween 5, I feel it might be probably, if not one of the underrated, the probably most underrated movie in the franchise. I love Halloween 5. Absolutely love it. It was one of the first ones I saw, and I only saw it really because of the cover. That hooked me in right there. And yeah, I love Halloween 5. Team Tina, by the way. I am a Tina fan. I know people do not like Tina, but I love Tina. Halloween 6, I love it. I think it's great. That's one of my go-tos. I'm sorry, Ken. That is one of my go-tos.
I love you so much, but you're lucky you're pretty
movie.
because I hate that opinion.
Thank you. The looks, it happens. It's the looks all the time. Halloween H2O, one of my favorites. Top 3 for me in the franchise. Well, no, top 4 for me in the franchise. I love Halloween H2O. Halloween Resurrection. Halloween Resurrection. I don't love it. It's my least favorite of the franchise, but I can watch it like Jason X. Have a fun time with it. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Loved it when I first saw it. It's went down. I really enjoy it though. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And then this is an unpopular opinion, but Halloween 2018. I don't love the movie, but I really like it. I think it's a solid film. For me though, and I will say this all the time, I really don't think it did anything new to the franchise. Yeah, you brought Jamie Lee Curtis back. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I love Laurie Strode as a character overall. It was great to have her come back. Carpenter did such an amazing job with the score. I love the soundtrack. Overall, love the cast. But for me, it was just a film. It just didn't do anything to excite me too much, except for seeing another Halloween movie in the theater when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait for Halloween Kills. I think it's going to be a way better movie, in my opinion. So, but my love is Halloween. That is my favorite franchise of all time.
All right, real quick. Rudy, you beautiful man, you. First of all, I hope your trip to the coast was fun.
Rudy.
I hope you enjoyed the patron exclusive watching me get angry while framing things. Yeah, that's another reason why I hadn't framed some things, because it pisses me off. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, buddy. I can always count on you to make it rain on me. I know you guys really want me to join the cast of your new Magic Mike movie. I've been talking to Justin about it, Rudy. We're discussing it. Oh God, here we go. So thank you so much, Rudy. Love you, buddy. And Sam.
Yeah.
Film blogger Sam. Thank you so much. I know you said you found me through Christian. Christian is a great friend of mine. Love that dude. Love doing Unita. And I love that you liked me enough to be like, hey, I'll subscribe to this guy. You've been in the chat this whole time and you've been active, and it really means the world to me. I know people will click on videos and they'll be like, okay, whatever. And then they'll click out. When you stay in here the whole time and you're active in this chat, that makes me feel really good, because it makes me feel like you care about what we have to say. And, that is fantastic. I know that means a lot to Justin and Ken as well, because I've been having to leave periodically for a minute or so because I have my kid running around and stuff too. So it's nice to be able to, that you guys still are so into this and involved, and I'm rambling, but this means a lot. It really, really does. And I appreciate that. So thank you so much, Sam. Thank you, everybody. By the way, if you haven't already, please leave a like on the stream. And go ahead and check out Ken at Sledgehammer Horror and check out Justin at Ryan1988 if you're not already subscribed to them. We've done multiple collaborations in the past. We will continue to do collaborations because we get along really well. But yeah, thank you so much for the generosity, Rudy and Sam. I love you guys. And Ken, recap your list and give us your one.
First, Justin has to answer a question from Bill. Bill says, I'm calling you out, Justin. How can you like the Rob Zombie films but not be a fan of 2018?
I like 2018. It's not that I dislike the movie, but for me, if we're going personal preference, it's I I think Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is a better film. Now, Rob Zombie's Halloween 1, it's not as good as Halloween 2018. If you go and watch my ranking from last October, Halloween 2018 ranked over Rob Zombie's first Halloween film. So I really enjoyed the movie. I do. And it's a film that over time I enjoy it more. But it just, for me, as far as like the entire franchise goes, it just didn't do too much for me. Now, Halloween Kills, I think, could be one of the best of the franchise. I love that trailer. I think they're going to amp it up. I think they had to put their feet in the ground and kind of like start the franchise again. And we're going to get a better movie. But Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, I love. My personal reasons, I just love it. And then, I think 2018 ranks over Rob Zombie's first Halloween.
Really quick, Rudy. No, I meant because Justin always keeps saying that he's making a new Magic Mike movie and he's gonna be in it. So that's what I was referencing. I was just like, but I believe you do have legit ideas for a review. And as you know, I did the patron exclusive framing video that you requested. So if you request it, buddy, I will honor it. So make sure to throw them my way. William, give me that bottle cap because you could choke. So Ken, go for it.
All right, so I'm going to recap first, and then I have a special guest that's going to introduce my number 1 for me. Coming in number 10 was Hellraiser, 9 Phantasm, 8 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 7 Halloween, 6 Nightmare on Elm Street, 5 Friday the 13th, 4 Saw, 3 Scream, 2 Evil Dead, which was actually 1B, so now 1A. Come here, special guest. Okay. She's been waiting this whole time. Our number 1 is Child's Play.
Child's Play.
My beautiful 8-year-old daughter, Chloe.
Hello.
Hates it because she wanted to be a part of this, and I told her that she could. And I want everybody in the chat to know, my brave 8-year-old that doesn't watch horror movies, what did you watch last night for the first time?
Chucky.
We watched Child's Play 1 last night. It's her first horror movie she ever watched. So I'm so proud of her for sitting through the whole movie. And when we're done with this, what are we watching?
Chucky 2.
We're having a whole marathon of the Chucky movies.
There you go.
So, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Real quick, Ken, Bill says that was a great answer, Justin.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. More than you know. All right.
Yes, thank you, Bill. So with Child's Play, obviously, I think the worst film is Seed of Chucky. I think, in my opinion, my favorite is Child's Play 3. I think that that is where Chucky is still down and dirty, but this is where he starts to get funny, like the "don't fuck with the Chuck" line. Presto, you're dead. I think that Child's Play 3 is absolutely phenomenal. But man, it's brutal, funny, outrageous, great villain, great story. And I've been saving this, something that got brought up earlier in the chat. Someone said, I love Child's Play, but Brad Dourif is Chucky. Now, I like the Child's Play remake more than I like the original Child's Play. That's not saying that I dislike the original Child's Play. I think the original Child's Play is absolutely fantastic, but I love the fact that in the remake they didn't use Charles Lee Ray. I love that they went with the AI, because you're right, nobody could have been Chucky. That's Charles Lee Ray. So to take this and make it AI made the most sense to me. Brad Dourif is that Chucky, and I think that it's amazing that we have 2 split timelines now. And the thing about that is, when you talk about split timelines and everybody's like, oh, well, the timelines are split now. Halloween's done it. Nobody bitches. Texas Chainsaw's done it. Nobody bitches. But now Child's Play is taking this split and everybody's all pissy about it. And I think it's ridiculous because I love it. And Justin, earlier you talked about you're not a fan of Cult of Chucky. Cult of Chucky gave me some of the hardest belly laughs I've had in a long time. When the 3 Chuckies are all talking in the circle.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never felt so alive. You've only been alive for like 18 seconds. And then you have all 3 Brad Dourif laughs. Like, man. And then the kills in that are great. With Seed of Chucky, I see everybody's blowing up the Seed of Chucky thing right now. With Seed of Chucky, the story's awful. And I think that they tried to do something ahead of the curve with the transgender issue. And I don't think they handled it as well as they could have. But I think the deaths in that movie are great. I love the kills in that movie. And I wish they could have made what they were trying to do with the transgender issue in that film more prevalent, and I wish they would have handled it better. It was just like, oh, he's a boy, he's a boy, he's a boy, and then she's a girl. Like, they didn't really get into that issue of transgender. And again, I know this was made 20 years ago, so it wasn't as, a hot topic as it is now. But looking back on it now, I don't feel like that has aged well, what they were trying to do. I still think that the kills in that movie are some of my favorite in the franchise. I love the acid kill. Like, I think that's absolutely phenomenal. There's a lot of Seed of Chucky I do like, but I agree. It's more comedy than horror. And then you guys brought up Curse of Chucky, bringing it back to that straight horror. Like, you have your mother's eyes. They're too fucking close together. And he stabs her right in the face. God, that's Charles Lee Ray, Chucky right there. And something that I wanted to talk about too, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this and you guys are down to talk about it. Since 2017, Don Mancini has been throwing around the idea of Child's Play on Elm Street. And I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. And the pitch that he has is Chucky is brought into a new house on Elm Street. And during Chucky's dream, him and Freddy start to battle. And then they take it out on the streets and start killing kids again. Kind of your Freddy versus Jason, but a little bit more of a twist to it. And I think Child's Play on Elm Street is something I have been so excited about. And with Child's Play, I could throw on any of these movies at any time and be happy. You were talking about Bride of Chucky. You want to talk about, again, the Scream influence on it. When John Ritter gets all the nails in his face and he looks like Pinhead, and Chucky's like, there's something very familiar about this. Or at the very beginning when you see the evidence lockers and it has the hockey mask, the chainsaw, Freddy's glove, Michael's mask. Like, I love a meta Chucky movie. So I just think that Child's Play gets a lot of, especially in the non-horror community, people look at it as more of a kid's horror film type thing. But I really think the Child's Play movies are dark and scary and brilliant and innovative. Easily the most quoted movies of mine growing up. We were watching it last night, and as Chucky was talking to John after the voodoo doll guy, and he's like, I got shot, John, and it hurt. It hurt like a son of a bitch. It even bled. I said it as he was saying it. My wife's like, I think you've seen this too many times. So Child's Play to me will always be so special, and I can't wait for the new series coming out on Sci-Fi. Bringing back a lot of the old cast members and adding some new ones. Devin Sawa's taking a part of it. Casper, can I keep you? Of course you can, Devin. So for me, guys, number one, hands down, Child's Play. It's a movie that I've adored, a franchise that I've adored for a long time, and I will defend that remake to the end of the world. You can make the argument that throughout the first, 2 acts of that movie, Chucky is doing what he feels in his mind is right. He's not doing this to try to take Andy's body and become alive again. He's doing this to protect somebody that he loves. He sees that, this girl is being hurt by her husband, so he goes and kills him. He sees that the cat is hurting Andy, so he kills it. In his mind, he's doing what is right to protect Andy. So I love what they did with it. I love the direction they took. Obviously, if they make a new one, they can't call it Child's Play 2 because that title is already owned. But I would love to see like a buddy franchise, like maybe the next one be Buddy Bear, and just make it a buddy franchise instead of a good guy franchise. Sorry I rambled for so long, guys, but for me, number one is Child's Play, and I could talk about it for hours. So you guys ever want to talk Child's Play, I want to comments, I'll talk to you about it.
Ken, what still is one of the creepiest scenes for me in the Child's Play franchise is the scene where Andy's mother realizes that the doll was talking the entire time without batteries in it. And that whole lead up to her even like confronting him and saying, I'm going to throw you into the fire. That whole scene is still very eerie for me. So love it.
That part got my daughter last night when Karen is holding the down. She's like, talk, goddamn it, I'm gonna throw you in the fire. Yeah. And then this is the first time you actually see him come to life. Yeah. He's like, you stupid bitch. I was like, oh, I still love it so much. I agree with you. When those batteries fall out of that box, your heart hits your stomach right at that moment.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome that you get, and real quick, it's so awesome. I think it takes 30 minutes before you see that moment where Chucky comes alive finally. Like, I think it's great. I love it.
Yeah. Well, here we are. Can you not mess with that balloon in here, buddy? That's really loud. I'm here to set the record straight. Hey, stop. I know it's a balloon, but stop. I'm here to set the record straight on this one. My list is at number 10, Phantasm, and number 9, Hellraiser. At number 8, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 7, The Evil Dead. Number 6, Saw. Number 5, Child's Play. Number 4, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 3, Friday the 13th. Number 2, Scream. And number 1, Halloween. Yes, yeah, Halloween. Halloween was the film, the franchise that got me into being the collector and horror fanatic that I am today. It had a lasting impact on me as a child because I always had babysitters. Halloween is my favorite film of all time. Not just my favorite horror film. It is my favorite movie of all time. I've watched that movie well over 100 times. It's the granddaddy. It is just like Scream was so consequential for the horror genre. Halloween was 20 years prior. I think that the simplistic approach, everything about it, I just love it. It gave us Jamie Lee Curtis too. I enjoy Halloween too, although as the years have gone on, I do find it, it drags at points. It can be boring. It's not in my top 5. Halloween 3 is a fantastic standalone sci-fi horror film. I absolutely love Halloween 3. Halloween 4 is very good. Halloween 5 I will defend until the day I am in the ground. And even then, I'll get to the pearly gates and God will be like, you have to say Halloween 5 sucks or you're not allowed in. And I'll be like, well, I'm sorry, God. Hopefully that isn't the case. But I will defend Halloween 5. I love...
Can't kill the boogeyman, God.
Yeah, I love Halloween 5. Halloween 6. I really enjoy Halloween 6. I really, really do. Soft spot in my heart. Nostalgia, and it's the last Halloween film that really felt like those late 80s films. Yeah. After that, you got definitely a different tone. I prefer Laurie Strode's portrayal of trauma and PTSD in Halloween H2O than Halloween 2018. I will say that. I think her changing her name, trying to live a different life, being a functioning alcoholic with an unruly teenager, I loved that more than 2018's Laurie Strode. I like 2018 better because I'm not a big fan of H2O. Because I felt like with H2O, I saw this 2 years ago with Scream, and it just felt very similar to me. You didn't need to do that because Michael Myers is already a well-established killer and franchise, but I digress on that. Resurrection is amazing. It's fantastic. No, it sucks ass. But it's still not as bad as some of the top 10 horror movies in my like top 10 worst horror movies I've ever seen. It doesn't make that list. It's bad. It's not that bad. Rob Zombie's Halloween. It's good. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's good. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, my second favorite. That's another movie. I will take that movie to my grave. Love that film. Love that film so much for how gritty and down to earth and just completely subverts your expectations. It's a fantastic movie. I love it. I don't care. And Halloween 2018, I enjoy. I like Halloween 2018. I don't love it. I like it. And Halloween Kills looks like it's going to be badass. So I can't wait for that. So it's Halloween for me. I didn't even have to put any thought into that. I really just wanted to get to the point where I could ramble about it. She was like, let's get to one. We are all human. We all have our own opinions. None of us is right. None of us are wrong. This is just what we prefer. And, that's totally fine. But for me, I'm looking at 2 shelves right in front of me, and the top 2 rows are just full of Halloween movies, different editions. I've spent thousands of dollars on this franchise. This franchise is everything to me. So for me, yeah, it's Halloween, man. And I don't know. I just brings me joy, and it tickles my fancy, and it makes things happen in my pantaloons. So
hopefully the front.
I'll leave you in suspense. All right.
But dude, I gotta tell you, first of all, this was such a fun chat with you guys, and getting our different opinions in on these franchises, like such a blast. Yeah. Such a blast.
And I want to open it real quick. I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to say for these next 15 minutes, we'll open it to the chat. You guys got questions or comments? Let us know. We're going to run to the 2-hour mark, and then we're going to cut it off. So chat, it's all you now. Ken, what were you going to say?
I was going to say some honorable mentions, I think, of franchises that we could have talked about. The Conjuring universe is a franchise we could have talked about. Final Destination, I mentioned that before. The Psycho franchise. The Exorcist franchise is another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally down to hear people, read some comments, ask any questions that you want about horror franchises or anything else horror. I'm down to answer some questions for the next 15 minutes.
I was going to say real quick, at some point, I mean, it doesn't have to be next week, but we should do this again, maybe a part 2, and talk about those other franchises.
If we come up with another list, I'd be happy as hell to put them together.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it at all. But as you turn that on, turn it on, turn the light on. I'm getting real tired of you right now. Turn it on. Okay, you're not going to.
If you start dancing like this, it might turn on itself.
Thank you. Now, stop. No.
Also, to be honest with you, The Grudge versus.
Dear God.
Am I?
Always want to mess with.
Hello? Your microphone, I can't hear you, buddy. I can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, cool, guys. Don't know what just happened. I had to unplug my mic. Something happened with my son messing with everything, so I apologize for that. But you guys can hear me now, right?
I can hear you. You're good, bud.
Okay, Ken, where you at?
I don't know where he went. He'll pop up soon, though.
He disappeared.
Oh,
he's gone.
he'll come back. I think he'll come back. Anyway.
But anyway, I mean, you get to, you get to some of those other franchises like Leprechaun and stuff like that, and you're really getting kind of deep into the weeds there because there's some bad movies in those.
No, agreed. No, I agree. Agreed. Can you hear me?
Let me see if I can get him back. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, there.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Hey, Ken. Ken.
Can you hear me, Justin?
I can hear you, buddy.
I can hear you. Sam, I need to get into Lucio Fulci. Christian and Justin have both told me that I need to get into his movies because they say the gore is gnarly. But I don't know if I've ever even seen one, honestly.
I would say my favorite zombie. You definitely have to see that one.
It's cutting out really bad. I don't know what's going on my end.
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't see like your image is frozen.
You're not downloading a bunch of porn, are you? That might be why. But I'm a guy that needs to get into Fulci for sure. And Argento. I haven't seen a lot of Argento movies. Brooke, yes, I like Eli Roth.
Argento, yes. Need to watch some Argento, Nick. amazing. That I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I definitely prefer Argento over Lucio Fulci.
Do you like
But
Eli
Lucio
Roth,
Fulci.
Justin?
I do. Yes, I really I overall really love Eli Roth. So big fan. Big fan. That's a good one, Brooke.
Yeah. Sam, that's what Christian has told me. City of the Living Dead and Zombie are like two that he just worships. So I know I need to do that.
Zombie
I'm
and
the
the
Fulci virgin.
Beyond.
So
Can you guys hear me okay now?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what the hell happened.
You're okay. You went into
What did I
you
do?
went
We
into
can hear you now. We
the
can see you now.
you went into the Twilight Zone. That's what happened. There we go. No, but I would say, Nick, you need to watch Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. That might be my favorite of his. The Beyond. Great movie.
Okay. All right, I will.
Question, do you guys, yeah.
Huh? Asking if we're fans of Lucio Fulci, Eli Roth.
Mario Bava. Somebody put Mario. Nice.
Yeah.
Mario Bava.
I'm not a huge Roth guy, but the others, yeah.
Oh, Antanas wants to know if Ken can do a Chucky impression.
Can I do a Chucky impression? If I can get chopped up by a fan. That's about the closest I could do.
Yeah, I can't do one.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's just no way. Chucky's way too infamous for me to do something like that.
Hey, John. How's it going?
Hey, John.
Yeah. It's a fantastic live chat, so you're gonna love it.
Yeah. This has actually been a really, really interactive live chat. I think everybody, like I said, can't speak for everybody watching, but I think everybody has enjoyed the subject matter. Really, it's created a lot of conversation.
I do got to say to Scatterbrain, I just seen that he said what one-offs need to be a franchise. I would like a prequel to The Cabin in the Woods. I've talked about that already before. I think a prequel to that would be super sick. When it comes to other one-offs that I think should be franchises, that's so hard because you look at franchises that should have been one-offs more often, like Jaws, I think should have been a one-off film. I think A Quiet Place should have been a one-off film. I really do like the direction they're going with Don't Breathe. I like Don't Breathe 2. I think that was a really good one. And I'm going to say you guys were talking about how excited you were for Scream coming up. That's how I feel about Malignant. I think Malignant is going to be an amazing movie, and that's something I'm very excited to see. Hey, see you later, 1031.
Bye,
But if you guys
1031.
get the chance, make sure to check out a trailer for Malignant if you haven't seen it yet. It's a new James Wan film coming out.
Yeah,
and I think it looks absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
It looks like a supernatural slasher.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I'm James Wan has not steered me wrong. So
No.
I have no reason to believe that it's not going to be great.
Sarah, what Lucio Fulci movie can I recommend to you? Either The Beyond or Zombie. Those are the first two I would recommend. Those are my favorites, Sarah. So definitely check those out.
Yes, Antanas, I have my tickets for Candyman 2021.
I'm ready for it. I don't either.
Not yet, but I know when I'm going to see it, and that's the next time. Actually, we're all going to get together. I want to get the date right. Sunday night. So Sunday the 29th. Ken and Justin and I think we're going to do 9 p.m. Eastern because I get back from my bachelor party trip that night. That evening. So we are going to go live. And we're going to talk Candyman. It's going to be the first half spoiler free, the second half spoiler filled. So there'll be a little something for everyone. We will have all seen it by then, and we're just going to talk about it, what we thought, and then we're going to tell you guys all the nitty gritty details if you wanted to hear them. So 2 weeks from yesterday. So 13 days. We will be back doing that. So,
and we'll definitely throw out a spoiler warning on that one too.
Yeah.
For anybody. I do want to say Parker just said Insidious should have been a standalone film. Parker, I gotta disagree with you, man. I love the Insidious franchise, and I'm still really, really looking forward to. And Sinister is something they've been talking about for a long time. An Insidious and Sinister crossover. I think that would be awesome. And Philip just said Exorcist 2: The Heretic is best.
That's gonna piss
Philip. Me and you're gonna have to have a sit down conversation.
Hey, I think it's a fun watch, but Exorcist.
Can you love The Heretic? Stop lying.
Here's the thing. We all got our opinion. I will say this though: if he's not seen Exorcist 3 yet, go watch Exorcist 3 because that's, in my opinion, the best of the franchise.
Me too.
But Insidious though, like I think it's a great franchise, and I'm looking forward to Insidious 5. Patrick Wilson's coming back, and he's also directing the movie, so that's going to be really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a fun time with those movies.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I love the Insidious franchise. I think that
all four.
Yeah, I think that Insidious Chapter 1, I honestly think that is, in my opinion, the best PG-13 horror movie ever made.
I love it. Love it.
It's up there with The Ring. Insidious and The Ring are my two favorite PG-13 horror movies ever made.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Again, guys.
I agree with you, Scatterbrain. Collector 3 would be so good. The collection, that's supposed to be coming.
Oh, yes.
Sarah, I agree that Sinister 2 was a hot pile of garbage, but I do love Sinister so much. So good.
Sarah, yes.
I love Sinister 2.
You love Sinister 2?
Did you really?
Yep.
Hey,
wow. I was not a fan, but that's awesome. I'm glad someone got some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. But here's my thing. I think that Sinister's creepy as hell. And Sinister is super well acted. And Sinister was a great original idea. Bagul is awesome. I loved Sinister. But the thing about Sinister 2, and my brother thought I was on crack. We went and saw it together. And we walked out, and I was like, I liked it better than the first one. He's like, what are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. For me, it was because Sinister 2 focused more on the children. The first one was a lot more about Ethan Hawke's character. And since those movies are about the children being corrupted by the ghoul to kill their families, I really prefer the point of view from the kids. And I don't know. It's just an opinion. I think Sinister 2 is probably Sinister is probably a better movie, but I like 2 more. I don't know. I don't know why.
I need to give it a rewatch. But
I don't think I don't think John knows that I'm going to remake Season of the Witch.
I don't think John knows you already have remade it.
Like it's going to happen, John. Like you're talking to the biggest Season of the Witch fan ever. And I'm one of the people, honestly, that say if the Season of the Witch would not have been Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, it would have been just the Season of the Witch. I think it would have spawned a bunch of sequels. I think that it could have been a huge cult franchise. It just, the unfortunate thing about the Season of the Witch is it was Halloween 3. That is the only unfortunate thing about the Season of the Witch. That's why it did not get the recognition that I feel it deserved back then, and why I still feel like a lot of people poo-poo at it now because it's the Halloween without Michael Myers. Watch the movie with an open mind, and it's a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
John, I love you, and I agree.
Sarah, real quick. Okay.
No, go ahead.
No, Sarah, real quick. Exorcist 3. She said, I agree. It's scarier than the first one. I love the first Exorcist movie, but I rewatched. I did a double feature last Halloween with The Exorcist and Exorcist 3, and The Exorcist 3 is definitely a scarier movie. Like, it creeps me out. Like, the Brad Dourif, amazing in the movie. Like, great performance there.
I agree with you. I think his portrayal of the Zodiac was absolutely amazing. We only got a couple seconds left, so I do got to say 2 things. Triple feature, 100% yes, you should. And Scatterbrain, hell no. Hell no. Not, you couldn't pay me to do that.
No, a sequel, I'd watch a sequel. Don't remake it.
Don't remake it.
And Sam is just kidding. He hates Friday Part 5. Sam, you should frame it and you should put it over your bed so you can look at it every night.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was going to say, I'm looking forward to the Thing follow-up that they're going to do. I was actually one that was a fan of the prequel, besides that awful CGI that they put over the practical effects, like after they made the movie. I'm a fan of it. Carpenter's The Thing, absolutely love it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Blumhouse wants to do with the Thing follow-up, because it's going to connect to that Carpenter's The Thing.
Yep. I don't know. They have to do it practical. Like, you have to.
Yeah, it's got to be practical, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
We've gone 2 hours. My son wants pizza. To everybody that participated in the chat tonight, thank you guys so much. It was an awesome discussion. To everyone that, showed love to the channel and super chatted, thank you so much. If you haven't left a like already, leave a like on the stream. If you watched on the playback, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank you for being here. Justin and Ken, thank you for lending your time and your talent. And Justin and I will see you tomorrow night for our live commentary of Freddy's Revenge next, and then 2 weeks from yesterday, so August 29th, the three of us will be back to talk about Candyman 2021. So,
yes,
everybody have a great night. Thank you, and we'll catch you on the flippity flip.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.